My name is Sophia, and I was 16 when this story began. I lived in a quiet little town called Maplewood Hills, not far from the edges of New York City. It was the kind of place where time moved gently. Green hills, sleepy streets, small shops where everyone knew your name, and one big school where all of us teenagers gathered with our books and dreams. That year I started grade 10. And that was the year Mr. Daniels came into my life. He was our new literature teacher. Just 25, but he seemed older, wiser. He had dark blonde hair, wore simple white shirts tucked neatly under dark sweaters, and always carried a brown leather bag that looked like it had stories of its own. His glasses sat perfectly on his nose, and when he smiled, his green eyes turned warm, like the way sunlight softens through leaves. From the moment he walked in, every girl noticed him. They whispered and giggled, asked pointless questions, dropped pens just to make him look their way. But he never wavered, always polite, always distant. He kept his focus on literature, not the fluttering hearts around him. I noticed him too, quietly, deeply. But I wasn't like the others. I didn't giggle or toss my hair. I sat in the second row by the window, always quiet, always listening. When he read aloud, the world felt still. His voice could make any poem bloom. Every word he spoke seemed to land gently inside me. He didn't just teach stories. He opened their souls. He showed us what lived beneath the ink. And when he handed back my essays with comments like, "Thoughtful work, Sophia," my heart felt like it could float away. Sometimes he smiled at me in the hallway. I'd smile back, cheeks burning, and carry that moment like a secret all day. I started dressing a little better on the days we had literature. I'd brush my hair more carefully, wear the silver ring my grandmother had given me, and walk into his class hoping he'd see that I was different. I didn't want to be pretty. I just wanted to be seen. And maybe he did. Maybe in some small way he noticed me too. Once I saw him in the grocery store. He had a basket full of fruit and bread. He smiled and said, "Hello, Sophia. Doing some shopping?" He nodded. That one moment lit up my entire day. Then I saw him again, outside a bookshop, laughing with a friend. "You wave." I waved back, but something stung in my chest. I didn't want to share him, not even with a friend. As the months passed, the trees turned gold and the wind grew colder. We had our school festival, and Mr. Daniels worked at the bookstall. I bought a little storybook. He looked at the cover and said, "Good choice." I mumbled thank you and walked away, regretting every word I didn't say. At home I kept every graded paper he returned, every little comment, every well done and impressive insight. I tucked them into a box under my bed like love letters I was too afraid to write. Then came the winter, and with it, snow, silence, and secrets. School closed for a while. I stayed indoors, curled under blankets, reading and dreaming. In one dream we walked through the snow, hand in hand, talking about poems. In another, he looked at me not as a student, but as someone he truly saw. But life doesn't wait for dreams to come true. On the last day before spring break, Mr. Daniels stood in front of the class with news. He had accepted a teaching job at a university in another city. He was leaving. The class fell quiet. One girl cried. I couldn't move. After school, I sat alone in the back garden of the school, staring at bare trees and a gray sky. It felt like something inside me had quietly broken. That night, I walked until I found myself in front of a little white house. I'd seen it before but never realized it was his. The light was on. A shadow moved inside. I stood there for a few minutes, then walked away. I didn't say goodbye. Couldn't. Before I continue, I want to ask you something. Where are you listening from? It gives me comfort to know someone out there is hearing this. Maybe you felt something like this too. When Mr. Daniels left Maplewood Hills, something inside me dimmed. I still went to school, still studied, but literature no longer made my heart skip. The new teacher was fine, but the magic was gone. Summer came, and I began preparing for university entrance exams. I wanted to study English literature. My parents supported me. I joined a private English class in town. Students, quiet room, Nothing special. Until he walked in. Mr. Daniels. He looked surprised too. His hair was shorter now. He wore a dark jacket. But those green eyes. Still the same. "Welcome," he said, scanning the room. "I'm Mr. Daniels. I'll be your teacher for the next 6 months." My heart raced. After class he came to me. "Sophia," he said. "You've grown." Smiled. "I didn't expect to see you again." He laughed softly. "Neither did I." He said he had missed teaching high school students. That he moved back just last month. That night I couldn't sleep. Weeks passed. I worked harder than ever in his class. Sometimes we spoke after lessons about books, dreams, life. One evening it started raining. I didn't have an umbrella. "Do you want me to walk you home?" he asked, holding his. He nodded. We walked together, the rain soft around us. Talk. We smiled. Felt easy. Natural. Like two people who belonged in the same paragraph. He walked me home many times after that. Once he asked if I wanted to go see a film with him. Said yes. That night, in a quiet cafe after the movie, he kissed me. It was soft and unsure, like both of us were stepping into something fragile and new. We kept it a secret. I didn't tell my friends. Not even my parents. With him I felt seen. Understood. I wasn't just a girl with a crush anymore. I was someone he chose. But good things don't last forever. One afternoon we sat on a park bench. He looked at me quietly and said, "I've been offered a job. In Boston." I felt the wind leave my chest. "It's a good opportunity," he said. "But I haven't decided yet." I looked at the trees. Then at him. "I understand," I said. And I meant it. Even if it broke me. We promised to stay in touch. He gave me a book of poems with my name written inside. "Never stop writing," he whispered. Then he left. Again. For a while we exchanged letters. His handwriting felt like a hug. But slowly the letters grew short. Cold. Distant. One day they stopped altogether. Passed my exams. Got into a university in New York. Life moved on. But I carried him with me. Quietly. Like a folded note in the pocket of my heart. Years passed. One evening I searched for him online. There he was. Older. Tired. But still him. I sent a message. "Hello, Mr. Daniels. This is Sophia. Do you remember me?" He replied, "Of course. It's nice to hear from you." We met in a small cafe. Talked. We laughed a little. But it wasn't the same. Something was gone. Or maybe something had changed. Maybe it was me. When we said goodbye I smiled. 'Cause I finally knew. He wasn't the end of my story. He was just a chapter. Now I teach young children how to read. How to write. How to feel stories deeply. Maybe one day I'll be someone's favorite teacher. Just like he was mine. And I'll smile knowing that sometimes the most beautiful stories don't last forever. But they leave us forever changed.